Hi, I'm Laura Maiola from MoxieLife Coach, and this week I want to ask you the question, what is real? What is real in your life? And how do you know it's real? So coaching, what most people know about coaching is that it's a lot of talk, and they kind of equate it with therapy, even though it's really not therapy. It's very different. It's very goal-oriented, and there's a lot of science underneath coaching methodology. A lot of neuroscience, actually. And so, scientifically, it's been proven that the observer creates what they observe. So what that means is I create my own reality. I create it. I create it myself. And you might think, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know, that table over there is a table. I didn't create it. It is. It just is. I have no control over the world around me. You actually do have a lot of control because you're choosing to put your perspective, your lens on the things that you observe. And you're interpreting what those things mean to you in a way that's unique to you based on that perspective and lens. Nobody else sees things the way you do. Hence, the need for language and communication, and also why conflict comes from miscommunication. You know, we assume my definition is the same as your definition. No, it's not. It's not, because we bring different things into our reality. So that's important to understand. You know, we have more control, and a lot of that control comes from what we say to ourselves. So you might know that athletes, you know, professional and Olympic athletes, visualize what they're going to do over and over and over and over. They're telling themselves that they're successful. They're telling themselves that they're actually doing it, and they're visualizing it. And they're visualizing it to sync their body and their mind and their spirit. And what happens is the athletes that visualize their success, those actions that lead to success, actually are more successful. So what's the mechanism behind that? So another scientific fact is that our brains cannot distinguish between what's imagined and what's real. That's huge. Our brains cannot distinguish between what's imagined and what's real. So think about that. It means that what we tell ourselves, we can then make true. So if you actually listen to the stories from your inner critics, your saboteurs, telling you that you don't deserve it, you're not good enough, you're never going to have that, or you need to, change to make other people like you, you need to avoid conflict because it's bad, all of those things. If you keep telling yourself that, you will believe it. And when you believe it, it actually changes the chemistry of your brain, your synaptic function, and your brain will flood your body with depressive chemicals. So now you are making it true. There's an actual impact of your negative stories. You know, I've always said that when you believe your fear, you will walk that path and ultimately create your fear. And this is what's happening physiologically. You know, this is called neurolinguistic programming. And it's all connected in creating the reality that you want or that you don't want. So, conversely, if you tell yourself that, you're capable, you're powerful, you're a rock star, look at all the good things you have, look at all the great things you have in your life. If you have gratitude and appreciation and love for yourself, and you believe those stories, well, what happens? Your brain chemistry supports that belief. It thinks it's real. It believes it. And it floods your body with feel-good chemicals, dopamine and serotonin. And that's awesome. Who wouldn't want to live in that reality? So my point today is it all starts with what you tell yourself. It all starts with what you believe. So my job as a coach is to uncover those self-limiting beliefs that you never question. You pick them up in childhood and you've gone your entire life with some ideas that you tell yourself are true. But if I as a coach were to ask you, is that true? What evidence do you have for that? You would be like, oh no, that's horrible. That's what happens with all of my clients. We uncover these things that they always believed subconsciously that has guided their actions and created a reality that they didn't want. So it's important to uncover what you truly believe and distinguish it from what you know won't serve you. Our values are what we think are most important subconsciously, and yet our saboteurs will tangle themselves up with your values and tell you, they give you a fear that you will not be able to fulfill or honor that value if you don't do XYZ. So we have to untangle those things, because if we don't, you're not going to feel good in your mind, in your body, in your reality. You've created what you don't want. So start with questioning what you think is true. And start with what you love about yourself. Start with the vision of the future you want for yourself. You tell yourself those things and believe them. This is the difference between affirmations and truly believing what you say to yourself. You have to believe it. And your brain will believe it, and your body will believe it, and you will create what you want. So I hope you find that valuable. Until next week, speak your truth, even if your voice shakes.